The mayor is not going to be here today, and we have an under-the-weather clerk, so I'm going to help out as much as I can today. So I think the first thing we'll do is do a roll call, and then we'll ask for a motion to appoint a mayor pro tem. Yes.
Alderman Arnett is absent. Alderwoman Erickson.
Here.
Alderman Fridge.
Here.
Alderwoman Johnson.
Here.
Alderman Kreinbrink.
Here.
Alderman Lilbrandt.
Here.
Alderman Robinson.
Here.
And Alderman White Cotton.
Here.
Is there a motion to appoint someone as the mayor
Yeah, I would
pro
like to
tem?
appoint Alderman Whitecott as interim mayor.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Bill and then Rebecca.
Ready?
Yes.
Alderwoman Erickson.
Aye.
Alderman Fridge.
Aye.
Alderwoman Johnson. Aye. Alderman Kreinbrink.
Aye.
Alderman Lilbrandt.
Aye.
Alderman Robinson.
Aye.
And Alderman White Cotton.
Aye.
On up.
You're thrown away, sir.
Don't forget the glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there's no mayor's report, so, city attorney's report?
Working on a lot of FOIAs right now with the clerk, and we've got a couple, quite a few FOIAs going on. But the last update on the GRNE was that the attorney who was actually not the attorney, but she was acting as the attorney with the new situation because of the changeover. They were under the impression we didn't want to move forward, so now they're working to get it so we can move forward. Not much of an update, I guess, is really what there is to say there. And so the only thing I don't have is if there was any way that the staff had any way to calculate what their time has been on that agreement for me to go through with maybe a demand letter or something. So other than that, I think that's everything. I might think of more later, but that's what I got now.
City clerk's report?
No report this evening.
No treasurer's report, city administrator's report.
I'll hold my comments to the second meeting.
Department reports, Tony Eberly,
No report tonight, thank you.
Police Chief Senni.
Okay. First off, I just want to thank Tony's group for the help that they did on the parade this past weekend. The parade went very well overall for the first year. Got input from Tony's group and also from Sergeant Meisner, who's in the back there, on how to improve that next year should it continue. It was well attended. I believe there was over 50 vehicles that partook in that parade, and from the comments that were received, it was well received within the city, so hopefully that's something we bring back next year and improve on that. Just for some events that we had over the last 2 weeks, we had our Explorer meeting. We have decided to go with the police explorers instead of police cadets. Also, I attended the DeKalb County Chiefs meeting and also the 911 board meeting that's for the 911 funds for the PSAP that we have. The Christmas, New Year's Eve campaign has started. It goes from the 13th of December to January 2nd. Again, that's for us to do additional traffic enforcement. There was an officer out there today doing additional traffic enforcement. We have 105 hours of dedicated potential traffic enforcement for that grant, which of those 105, 5 of those hours are designed just for DUI patrol. Talking about the Explorers, we're still on target to start having that program up and running by the end of February, beginning of March of 2025. The Christmas event last Friday, when Santa came to town, that event went well overall. Probably had just about the same amount of people that were there. It was from 5 to 7 p.m. We still had people coming in at 6:45-ish. We even had somebody, I think, that got there at 6:55. Everybody walked out with plenty of gifts, so we're very happy. Sergeant Whitecotton graduated last Friday from Staff and Command. If you remember, he's the first officer since 2006 or 2008 to actually attend Staff and Command. Officer Lundstein is graduating from the academy this Thursday. He will start his field training on Saturday with Officer Rominski. Officer Vega, we've been in contact with him. He's anticipated to come back to the street on January 8th of 2025. Sergeant Eisenberg is going to be starting Staff and Command starting on January 13th of 2005. He's also going to be on the same plan that Sergeant Whitecott was, where he'll attend class for 2 weeks, then he's off for 2 weeks, so he'll graduate towards the end of May. Be looking to hire, Police and Fire Commissioner is actually meeting tonight. We'll be looking to hire a new officer somewhere at the end of January, beginning of February. And then I gave you guys the monthly report. Just want to touch on some things there. You can see the training that we attended during the month, our community engagement. A couple of significant incidents where we had some graffiti on 2 individual places. Those offenders have been identified. Currently, it's with the state's attorney's office to see what type of charge is going to be approved. The warrant arrest on there for the subject with 4 warrants, that was a very good case. Sergeant Meisner actually worked on that case. That was in particular person that we were informed that he was back in town. Sergeant Meisner and his group took some time to develop, to see where he was, to make sure he was there, and they actually ended up getting him in custody for that. If you see our detective assignments, we did have a pretty heavy month for case assignments. That was heavier than last month. Again, we do not have a detective permanently assigned, so we're working on that. Again, our plan is to hopefully have somebody in a hybrid position in January, mid-January, February of next year. We did have 9 FOIAs for the month, and then the SRO report is on there to show what the school resource officer is doing in the school. The adjudication numbers, we did have 19 compliance citations written during the month. And then our monthly stats overall, when I look at our monthly stats for what we're doing, we're doing very, very well. We continue to trend up or stay even as stuff fluctuates during the course of the year. I did do a breakdown again of our calls for service, and this in particular month, there was an increase in Saturday was our busy night. Saturday pertained 21% of our calls for service. That, as we talked about the previous months we looked at, we were pretty consistent. This past month, Saturday seemed to be the busier month, with then Sunday being the least busiest month, and then the rest of them being pretty consistent on the days. I gave you the traffic crash information, and then so this year, we've had 17,682 calls for service, so that's instances that we've had for this year. And then in the month of November, we had 1,898 calls for service or instances. And I just wanted to take a quick little look. I took a quick little look and just some statistical analysis. So just looking at this past month, of the 1,898 calls that we had, or instances, 1,589 of those calls were officer initiated, so proactive versus reactive. So so that comes out to 84% of our call volume for the month of November was being proactive. The officers were out there actually engaging in the activity from that. And then I took just a yearly look at that. So of the 17,682 calls for service that we've had, 13,577 of those calls are initiated by the officer. So again, that proactive policing as opposed to reactive policing, which equates to about 77% of our call volume that we're doing is proactive police work. And just some other quick little things. So we talked about our DUI enforcement and our stance on that, and he is sitting back there. So we still have an entire half a month left to do. Our DUI enforcement, so all of 2023, we had 20 DUI arrests, which is still good. 2024, the end of November, we are sitting at 31 DUI arrests for the year. A lot of that contributes to Officer French, who is sitting in the back of the room. He's out there aggressively doing DUI enforcement. And then also, one of the other things, kind of look at our community engagement. So for all of 2023, we had a total of 301 community engagement contacts as a police department. As of right now, and we still have entire month to factor in there, we were up to 1,599 community engagement type of activities that we did as a police department. The other thing that I just wanted to share, traffic stops, traffic enforcement, is one of our focus points, is for all of 2023, we had 703 traffic stops. As of November, the end of November, we are up to 2,800 traffic stops. So again, being very proactive. I'm a firm believer that, again, in our traffic enforcement, we're not out there writing everybody citations. We're doing a lot of education, but the fact that we're out there, that often deters crime from happening because people know that we're out there, especially the late nights where people may be prone to commit burglaries and their mode of getting around is an automobile. They know that we're out there and we're aggressively stopping vehicles that may deter them from actually committing a crime in our town. So those are just some things that I just wanted to share. If there's any questions, I'll take them. If not, I'm good.
That's good. Thank you, Chief. Engineering.
All right. So the 2024 pavement management program, last of the restoration was completed, and final cost and liquidated damages, cost for that is being sent to the contractor for their approval. Main Street improvements, city staff is currently reviewing the QBS submittals. So once that's done, the contractor that's chosen will submit their stuff. It's got to be done by the 17th of January next year. Downtown street lighting project, still waiting for final results on the grant information, but looking very good. Made the third round cuts, so looking very good to get the dollars to help out that with streetlights and also the road improvements, water main improvements along Railroad Street. The wastewater treatment project, working to get that started up here kind of towards the end of the month, and then working through all the bugs and procedural type stuff over the next couple months as we get things rolling. And then lastly, just a final update on Johnson's Floral. Sidewalk is complete. The plaque is in place, and Alderman Fritsch said he really liked it. It looked good, so I hope everyone else has got a chance. If you haven't, go check it out. So, no other questions? That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Alderman reports. Alderman Arnett is absent. Alderwoman Erickson.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Alderman Fritsch.
Nothing, thank you.
Alderman Johnson. Alderwoman Johnson.
Yes, good evening. Well, I've asked quite a few people and have not gotten back a positive response in regards to the sandwich. So I hope everyone's been asking their constituents. I like the idea, and at this point, I'm wondering about it being downtown in our historic area. So still just a little feedback on that. I don't know who put the agendas together today, but the pledge got left off to open the meetings, and really want to see that happen before we have any discussions. It's just something I would like, honestly, do our pledge first. And I just want to say thanks to the Chamber of Commerce in Sandwich for putting on such a great Christmas extravaganza. So that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Kreinbrink.
The only thing I'd like to say is thanks to all the city staff for this year and everything that's going on. I mean, we've made some real positive improvements in the community with everything. This has been a very active year. I mean, we've had a lot of times where we've had things on the docket to complete and they just never really go anywhere, but there's a lot of road pavements, sidewalks, sewer, water, Latham Street's done, the police are improving, the sewer and expansion, I mean, just, it's amazing. So thank you to everybody, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Alderman Littlebrandt.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Alderman Robinson.
Just two quick mentions. First, our next meeting in January, we're gonna be starting to talk about budget and things like that. I just wanna throw out there so people start thinking about it. Latham Street, like Fred just mentioned, Latham Street's done, but, we weren't really happy with it. We know the residents weren't. The street itself is great, but as far as the ditches and everything in front of the residents, I think we need to look into some real storm water management and solutions for there, rather than spend the money on mowing people's property and stuff like that. We should go ahead and just fix it the right way. That means putting pipe in the ground and then covering it and connecting it and getting holding areas or whatever. That's what we need to do up in that area. So that should be something that we are looking at here in January. Also, to reiterate something that Rebecca had said, in reference to the sandwich, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, the money we'd be spending on that would be tourism money that you can only spend on tourism, so it's not money we could use on the streets, sidewalks, or anything else. And I would agree, I'm not really a fan of having it downtown. I think we'd be better off putting it in a park or a better location. I don't really see people wanting to get pictures where you've got parked cars behind in the background and things like that, but that's just my opinion. So that's all I had for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I have nothing. There's no old business, nothing new business, announcements. Next meeting of the Finance Committee will be Monday, January 6th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. The Committee of the Whole meeting will be at 7 p.m. on the same date, immediately followed by the regular council meeting. And time for audience comments. Tristan?
Hi, thank you. So this is with respect to 4876 Sandy Bluff Road, which is the wedding venue that they held a wedding. And I think most of you were here for this. On the 30th, they held a wedding. Not supposed to be holding a wedding or any event. They have the quick synopsis. You know, they have the FEMA, the DNR floodplain violations. They were told to stop working on the building by the city's building official. They kept working on it. They have these violations. And even the last Plan Commission meeting, which was in November of '23, Bill Hall here said, like, we're not going to revisit or talk about your rezoning until you get your floodplain violations squared away. Hasn't been done. And so where I'm going with this now, a few days after their wedding, so the wedding, again, they held on the 30th, they stopped at my house, or I should say Nick Schomer, stopped at my house, I know, because we have those stupid Ring cameras. So Nick stopped at my house, and then he also stopped at my neighbor Dan Boer's house. And Dan was busy, so his wife Mary gave Nick Dan's number. Long story short, he sent Dan a text, you know, and real quick, just says, "Hello, Dan, Nick Schomer from the farm at 4876 Sandy Bluff Road. I'd like to see if you and I could have a conversation. Tristan and your wives are more than welcome to come. I'd just like to remain civil and on topic. If you're open to a conversation, when would be good for you? Just thinking down in the yards, nothing fancy." Okay. And again, that was on December 4th, just a few days after they had that wedding they weren't supposed to have. Our solution to that, or our thought to that was, we're not gonna respond. What's there to respond to? He's been nothing but difficult to talk to, and that's a whole nother conversation. And there's just nothing to talk about. They have these floodplain violations. They're still working on that building, and now they're having weddings. It's like, what do we need to converse with this guy about? So we let it go. So then a week later, he sends another text And again, this is here, and this is for all. So he sends another text a week later, exactly 1 week. Just starts in with option for the property when purchased. Number 1, wedding and event plus vineyards. Number 2, a single family homes on top of the bluff. That was A. Then B, townhouses, 56 units in total on the field behind your homes, phase 1. And then he goes on to say, you might do your homework. I'm going to have a survey done behind your homes. It doesn't appear to be in floodplain, which is not correct. It does not appear to be in floodplain. You can see the stakes behind Pam, Fritch, and at road I've already had done. And if it is, it will just require a retaining pond for water shedding. Not that simple. I've already met with a developer and will let him start option B, which is the 56 townhomes. We'll let him start option B at the beginning of the year unless you want to come to an agreement. I want an answer before Christmas or I'll assume I have it. Again, do your homework, talk to your lawyer for advice. You will see I have an easier time with the city if I just develop it. And then the last chunk, it will never just stay in its current state. I will see to it at this point. So now he's taking to harassing us, and I would call this nothing short of blackmail. He wants us to probably kowtow to him and say, okay, please no subdivision, please no townhouse, please just do the wedding venue. And it's a really sucky way to live, to have this going on in your backyard. A bunch of us live. It's been a really tough, year and a half with this guy, and he doesn't stop. We try to talk to him, and it just, so this is here for you folks to look at. And I guess I just want to make that aware. And what's going to, when is something going to happen? That's, and I understand you can't answer me right now. But it's asinine. And now having to get texts like this, it's absolutely ridiculous. And that's all I have. So thank you.
Yep, thank you. Thank you for leaving stuff for us to look at too, so. That's all the audience comments. A motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Rich, seconded by Karsta Erickson.
Okay, just take a few minutes break. While I
Well,
swap
you have to,
everything.
all those in favor?
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Am I in a hurry or what?
Yeah.